The Order 1886 looks visually stunning, with a universe to be fully immersed in. But will the gameplay live up to its aesthetics, or will it be a mere tech demo? Hi everyone, I am Ridho, and this is my reconnaissance of The Order 1886. The Order 1886 is about an elite order of knights that has been in a centuries-old war against the half-breeds, or Lycans. It's a different interpretation of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, in which they fight what they believe is the evil in the world. The Knights in 1886 are no ordinary soldiers. They possess an elixir called Blackwater, which has healing capabilities and extends their lives, and so they have already lived multiple lifetimes. They are, however, scarred in battle. They have seen their loved ones die over the years, and so their gift is also a curse. The game is set in Victorian age London, but with a steampunk-like, sinister fantasy twist to it. At first sight it may look like London as it was in those days, but when you look closer you see all these watchtowers and airships, things that weren't really there. An accelerated industrial revolution caused a change in the tide of battle, in favor of the Order. They now have the upper hand in the war. However, not everyone is happy with the presence of the Order. There is a rebellion against the aristocracy, and so the rebels also declare all-out war on the Order, because the knights are seen as servants of that aristocracy. Meanwhile, the half-breeds, the true enemy, grows both in strength and numbers. Not much is known about the story, apart from the fact that some members of the Order will start to question their role in the war. We also learned that the Order believes that the rebels are collaborating with the half-breeds. With a setting like this, they could really create something gripping and unique, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. The star of this game is by far the universe they created. They really tried to capture the history of London in that era, the atmosphere and the looks of the time period. From the clothing to the architecture, there is an incredible amount of detail. At the same time they added this fictional twist to it, but they added this in such a way that it still feels natural. Everything feels like it could actually have existed at that time. Even the thermite rifle doesn't seem like it's out of place. A strong focus point in this game is the immersion. The convincing universe they created definitely contributes to this. Apart from that, the graphics look absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best looking games ever made. What's even more impressive is the seamless transition between cutscenes and gameplay. This is not just graphics wise, but for example, when you're investigating a weapon in a cutscene, you are actually able to rotate the weapon and look at it however you want. It's these small details that make sure you don't get pulled out of the immersive experience as much. Of course, the obvious question would be, is it just a good looking game, or does it also have good gameplay? And in all honesty, I simply do not know yet. I've only played this game for about 15 minutes, which was an action scene against the rebels, so I didn't experience the full scope of the gameplay yet. The game is a cover-based third-person action shooter. However, the pacing and tone of the game vary a lot. There are these action sequences against the rebels, which are good, but from what I've seen, not that impressive. The shooting felt fine, but the movement felt a bit clunky. This could also just be me, since I'm so used to first-person shooters that third-person shooters always feel a bit unnatural to me. So it could be that it just takes some getting used to, but it could also be that the movement mechanics are a bit outdated, like in the older survival horror games. Note though that the gameplay is very linear. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but there are some who are just not into that. Apart from that, there are some stealthier parts, which look nice, although I think these are more the run-ups to the action sequences instead of actually being a central part of the gameplay. Then what I'm most excited about are the more suspenseful gameplay sequences, the parts that include the half-breeds. We haven't seen that much of this yet, but I think these strong, intelligent beasts will really make you feel uneasy and keep you on the edge of your seat at all times, which is a very good thing. I think the survival horror aspect of this game matches very well with the universe they created, and it reminded me of games like The Last of Us and Resident Evil 4. The weapons in this game look really amazing and very original. Most weapons are fictional, yet do not feel far from reality. They are based off of real ideas and prototypes, but just with a slight technological push. What makes them interesting is that most of these weapons have an alternate fire mode. For example, there's the combo gun, which is a Victorian version of the AK-47 that has an alternate fire mode, which delivers a concussive blast. Now the last thing that really stood out to me was the music. To me, the soundtrack of a game is very important and often gets underappreciated. In my opinion, the music can really set the tone and emotion in a game. In The Order, they put a lot of effort into the score. The main thing the composer focused on was to express this weight that is on all the characters in the game, this burden of the centuries-old war. Everything is performed in real time, so the live musicians really contribute to the sense of emotion and weight. More importantly than which instruments were used, is which instruments were left out. The focus is really on the low tones, using no violins or heroic French horns, and only using the lowest part of a choir, and extending it even lower. All these choices gave the sound a very unique identity. It has this industrial feel to it, and it also makes things sound more uncomfortable than they normally would. What I've heard so far fits the game very well, so I hope the full soundtrack will really be unique and memorable, and just add that extra emotion to the whole experience. All in all, there's more than enough to look forward to. An amazing universe, stunning graphics and a unique soundtrack. I really enjoy a linear story-driven game, in which I can fully immerse myself without costing months of my time. So I personally cannot wait to get my hands on this game. If it will excel at what it delivers remains to be seen, and will be decided by the quality of the gameplay and story, but definitely keep it in your scope, since it may just turn out to be one of the games of the year.
Sir Galahad, this matter is not yet over.
Of that you can be sure.
Thank you all for watching. I am Ridho, and I wish you all a very good day.